On a really cold afternoon, the only thing you could see on the Seekonk River, other than gulls and geese, was ice. From where I could see, every part of the mudflat, from the western shore out to the reef, out to the edge of the channel, was ice. But that was the only place that there was ice. I have seen ice on the Seekonk River plenty of times over the last 25 years. You know, at least a couple of times every winter, and sometimes for weeks. But I have never, and I repeat, never seen it where the ice covered the mud flat and absolutely nothing else like it did yesterday. It was almost low tide. The tide was still going out, but it was a very low tide. Almost all the rocks that you could ever see, you know, the dredge spoil reefs, were exposed. The Seekonk River is tidal. It's brackish. It means it's much harder for it to freeze than for fresh water. And you also have the very heavy current going in and out several times a day. So it only freezes in shallow water, and it freezes only when it's really cold. And you can see here how the tide is still going out. And there's one bird on the rock. There's a gull. All the other birds are on the eastern shore where there's still lots of sunlight. This was late in the afternoon. I'm always fascinated by how these very thin sheets of ice break and crack and cover parts of things and leave overhangs as the tide goes out. You know, the ice forms when the water's at a certain level, and then as the water drains out, as it goes out with the tide, the ice, you know, floats down with the water, and you know, all of the obstacles leave very interesting marks in the ice. I tried to get pictures of some of the more interesting formations of ice as it's fallen down. It's always interesting to see ice that slants downward as well, which is also a result of it being in a place where it didn't break, but it's on the outgoing tide. At high tide, this rock is completely underwater. At low tide, it is highly exposed. And so you've got a cap of ice on it. Here, the grass is the thing that broke the ice. As the ice fell, as the water lowered, the ice cracked around, you know, the tuft of grass. And we'll finish this off with a few more places of cracked ice, a result of the tide going out.